So let me just give everybody like a little recap of your career so far. Lake Brantley, you really put your stamp on it. Junior senior year was phenomenal. I mean, you was first team on state your senior year, Central Florida Player of the Year. Averaged 25 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks a game. That's monster. Ended up going to Notre Dame University. University of Notre Dame, whichever one you want to say. Did 4 years there. Ended up in senior year, first team on ACC. Had a monster season, 16 points and 13 rebounds. The most consecutive. I mean, you broke the record, most consecutive double doubles. And I present to y'all, man, John Mooney, man.
Indeed, man. No, thanks for having me on here, man. I'm glad we could talk it up. Um, I've been blessed with a lot of good people in my life, man, to help me out. So you can talk about all that stuff all you want, but man, it's I've been fortunate to be around good people. So I'm like yourself, glad to be able to talk and just share some of my experiences and some of my insights with you, man.
Okay. Man, first of all, man, I know the family. You got, like you said, you got a great support system. Shout out to your pops. Your pops one of the smoothest dudes I know. Your mom's a nice lady, man. So you got definitely got good people around you. But let's go back before Notre Dame came into the picture, and Billy Donovan called your dad because you committed to the University of Florida, which a lot of people don't know that before even stepping on campus at Notre Dame. So take me through those emotions, that phone call, and then yeah, you back at ground zero.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I did commit to Florida when I was a sophomore in high school. We grew up Gator fans. My sister Caitlin went there, so we were always up there in Gainesville, and my family just loved the Gators, loved Florida, and obviously loved Coach Donovan.
Mm.
He had a really good track record with guys like me of helping prepare them to the next level. You look at guys like David Lee, Chandler Parsons, who are
Right.
6'10", 6'9" guys
Spread the
who can
floor.
play and who can spread the floor exactly. So he helped develop guys like that. Um, I was very confident that I could flourish in that system. Obviously, he went to the pros, and it is what it is. It was sort of a blessing in disguise, man, because my time at Notre Dame was all I could ask for. Billy Donovan actually helped out, and he called Coach Bray, who's the coach of Notre Dame, and put a good word in, and with it a week or two after that call, I was up at campus in Notre Dame, and it worked out well, man, because it was kind of a blessing in disguise.
Well, a lot of people don't know what my thing was Notre Dame even in the picture after Billy left?
No, I mean, like, because I committed so early, my sophomore year of high school,
Okay.
like, I kind of shut down my recruitment. So not many other schools were involved up to that point. Florida was kind of the first one. UCF a little bit, but once I heard from Florida, I kind of jumped on it.
I really feel like, I mean, do you think, like you said, it's a blessing in disguise? I really feel like you had to grow up more, maybe leaving home, because if you went to Florida, you right down the street, you like 2 hours away
Yeah,
from the house.
yeah, definitely, man. And I like the Midwest. I like Indiana. It was a good place. Obviously cold, so I had to adjust to that.
Mm.
But yeah, when we were going through the recruitment, we kind of had some filters to check off. First and foremost, one of the good academic school, and Notre Dame fit that mold. Secondly, one of the good relationship with the coach and the staff, and Coach Bray and all of his staff were great during my recruitment and were great during my 4 years there. So that checked off. Um, Thirdly, one of the good relationship with the guys on the team, high character guys, man. You don't want to be around knuckleheads. You want to be around guys that
Exactly.
are like you and that come to work each day. And then fourth, just wanted a place where I could play in that style and play in that system on the court. And Notre Dame fit all those boxes, and I kind of just ran with it.
And for those student athletes, those college players, those guys trying to go to college like you, those four things are pivotal. Relationship with your head coach, the character of the players on the team, the academics of the school, and lastly, like you said, the style of play. And like you said, you that spread forward, that spread big, that he's a threat from the outside. And that's the biggest thing I feel like with a lot of student athletes, you got to find somewhere that's not importantly good for you academically, but good for you in that style of play. That's pivotal, man.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, going like give us a stepping on Notre Dame campus. Like give us a feel like for somebody that hasn't been that's been in Florida their whole life and never even stepped
Yeah.
on and been in another state, let alone Indiana. You know what I'm saying? Like give us the feels that you was like, okay, this is it.
Yeah, I mean it's beautiful up there, man. It really is. So I'm an Irish Catholic kid, and Notre Dame's a Catholic school. Obviously, the Fighting Irish, so
Hmm.
it kind of fit in well that culture there. And what's cool about Notre Dame is they don't, you know, like gas up the athletes at all. Everyone's kind of
Mm.
equal, which is cool. Like you go there freshman year, you live with a random roommate.
Wow,
You don't live with one of your teammates. So you're
that's
basically
different.
you're kind of thrown in the student body, which was cool, man. It was a good experience to be able to meet other people other than just the 12 or 13 dudes on the team. So I thought that was really cool, and I like that about Notre Dame. But just an all around great place, man. The fans love it. The students love the basketball team. So it was cool, man, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's love right there. That's love right there. So you really you got to network outside, in the student body. You get to make them relationships moving forward 10, 15 years down the road and not just because I feel like that's a lot of I mean from what I see, a lot of, sports related teams stay in that box. You know what I'm saying? Like you only hang with your teammates and you may hang with a few one or two people outside of it, but they force y'all to just be extroverts in a way. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
got to get to know these people. I'm around them. They don't live the student athlete life like me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's pretty dope. So
yeah, exactly.
freshman sophomore year, it was solid. You know, sophomore year I feel like I feel like you was coming to your own. Was you in it? Was you like in a place where because a lot of people having the numbers you had your sophomore year, you only had what 6 points, 4 rebounds, and maybe a
Yeah,
assist a game. So you was like, I know a lot of people would be like, oh man, I'm thinking about transferring, or the coach not, what I mean, he not trying to put me on or make me look good. You know how your ego starts talking to you. What made you say, okay, I'm going work my hardest this summer, get ready for my junior year, and dominate.
yeah. I mean that was kind of my mindset. Going into school, I knew the way Coach Bray and the way Notre Dame kind of runs its system is that if unless you're really ready to go, freshmen don't necessarily play a lot.
Mm,
And I used that first year as a learning experience to just learn how Division 1 college basketball goes. I mean, the speed is different.
mm,
The thing about coming from high school, you're the best on your team, and like you
right.
said, that ego is quickly challenged in college. So you have to be able to put that aside and understand what your role is on the team. My role my freshman year was to kind of be a practice player.
Hmm.
Bonzi Colson was ahead of me. He was an All American guy, All League guy, and
Yep.
I wouldn't trade my first 2 years with him for anything because I learned from him. I learned how to work. I learned how to be a college player from guys like him who are older than me and ahead of me. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he went down my sophomore year with an injury,
Okay.
and I was kind of uh, pushed in there a little more and got my opportunity. And you never want to see a teammate go down, but you have to have that next man up mentality.
Exactly.
And I feel like my sophomore year I did that and kind of got adjusted to the college game, got my feet wet a little bit, and then yeah, I really just used that sophomore summer as motivation to just kind of dominate and continue to work on my game, continue to work on my craft.
So first off, shout out to Bonzi, man. It seemed like he was like a big brother. What's some of the jewels, some of the knowledge he gave you, and you personally go like keep it to yourself or always use it for yourself moving forward in your professional career.
Yeah, I mean, not only Bonzi, but a lot of guys that were seniors when I was a freshman, like
Mm,
Steve Vesturi or VJ Beach, and those guys came in with the same mentality every day, and they
mm,
were very consistent. They never, fluctuated. They didn't let the situation get to them, and I really feel like that is something I can take for the rest of my life, not only in basketball, just having a consistent mindset
mm.
and just continue to work. I think that's cool. That's something that I learned, especially from those guys like Bonzi. Um, was you don't have to worry about anything that's going on. You just kind of put your head down and keep working.
Mm,
And I really like that about those guys. They weren't in your face. They weren't saying all these cliche like
hmm.
leadership, quotes and everything, but they led by example, and
Exactly.
that was cool, man. And they obviously used their voice when they needed to, because guys like me, valued their voice, but they didn't overcook it. So I think that was cool too.
So y'all was in the ACC your freshman year, right?
Yep,
So what was it like going on the road? Like even though you may not have played, you know what I mean, but still you was front row.
bro, man. Like that freshman year, it was kind of like a wake up call. I was like, damn, man. Like I don't know if I belong here because you're seeing Jason Tatum, you're seeing
Wow.
you're seeing all sorts of dudes, and it's a wake up call. You're like, man, I'm not playing right now, but I got to get my stuff together for
Uh,
next year and for the years after that. So yeah, I mean, those are the experiences that like early on, you use to just to see like the different level that college basketball is.
what was
You have to work to get there.
what was one of the players like when he was a freshman was like, man, like I didn't know he was that good. Like that dude's the real deal in person. Like,
Man, there's a bunch. I mean, you look at Jonathan Isaac from Florida State was really good.
mm.
Josh Hart, we played Villanova. He might have had like the best game I've seen. He had like 30 something. Um, a lot of guys tried to guard him, but he kind of just dominated that game. So, um, but again, man, when you see guys like that, and when you see like just their mentality and how their demeanor is during a game, you kind of you
Yeah, you
learn and you say, man, I want to be like that and I want to work like that.
yeah, you're not seeing people on Lyman or Lake Mary.
No, it's not Lyman or Lake Mary. That's for sure.
And that's the biggest thing I feel like when you are in that arena of these high, athletes, IQ players, it makes either one you fold or two you like, okay, I got to grow. I got to get better. It's a
Exactly.
motivation factor like, okay, this is what it takes. Okay. And obviously you took it as an opportunity to show your best self.
Exactly. Yeah. And like for me, like I don't like freshman year was tough. Like not playing was tough, no doubt. You have thoughts like, man, like I don't know if I can do that, but
Mm,
I never let that get to me, man. I just tried to work and again use it as an experience to grow and get better. A lot of people out there, like you said, may if stuff isn't going their way, they may think about transferring, but if you keep at it and you trust it, then I think good things can be in store.
so trust the process.
Yes, sir.
Was there something that you always kept in mind during that freshman year that kept you like, okay, I'm gonna stay at it. I'm gonna stay going. I'm gonna stay motivated.
Yeah, like guys before me were in the same boat. Like
Mm,
Bonzi Colson didn't necessarily play a lot his freshman year. Towards the end of the season, he did because of injuries. But
mm.
you look at some of the other guys from Notre Dame that have had really good careers. Didn't necessarily play a lot their freshman year. They had to wait their turn, and they had to, like I did, learn from the older guys that were already there. So yeah, I mean, I kind of just used some other guys as examples to not let freshman year get to you and just continue to work.
That's good. So you had some, like you said, you definitely was in a good environment. You with those four things you said, picking a school that you had the care to your teammates really made you.
100%, man.
You know what I mean? That's that's
Definitely.
that's pretty dope. So now, before junior year even start, if somebody came up to you was like, Moon, J Moon, you gonna be third team all ACC? You know what I'm saying? Second in votes to get most improved player in the ACC. And let me tell people, the ACC is top five, top five hands down. You got three of the six coaches that's already in the Hall of Fame in that
Yep.
conference. You got six of the winningest programs in NCAA Division One history in that conference. So somebody comes up and tell you that, is it something you would say, no, I don't see it, or was it something like, okay, I can expect it? What was your feels going into junior year?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're a competitor, especially in sports, man, you have to be confident in your game.
Mm,
And I learned that again from some of those older guys. But yeah, I mean, going into that junior season, I was very confident. Um, Again, it doesn't happen overnight, but
no.
when you see your game grow, your confidence only grows more. So,
Mm,
yeah, going into that junior year, man, I kind of expected a breakout year. Like I said before, I had great teammates to help me out. Like
mm,
TJ Gibbs was he came in with me. He was my age and my class, and he had already he played freshman and sophomore year,
okay.
and he was already balling, man, and he kind of helped me out that sophomore and junior year, especially just to kind of keep me rolling.
Mm,
So you got to shout out your teammates and your coaching staff to get you ready. Coach Ryan Humphrey was kind of our bigs coach
mm.
up there at school, and he helped me out a lot that sophomore summer going into that junior year to help me get ready. But yeah, I mean, as a competitor, man, you got to be confident in your game, and you got to expect to play well and to show out.
But Moon, man, you made a big jump, bro. Like what you changed? Like you had cereal your freshman sophomore year, then you started eating oatmeal. Like, bro, like people just don't jump like you did. Like, bro, you really like came into your own. Like, what it was it something mentally, or it was just like a repetition, a habit. Like it just momentum kept pushing you forward. Cause I mean, like,
Yeah, I think that's it, man. I think I touched on like the confidence thing.
mm,
Um, not that I struggled like with confidence early on in my career.
mm,
I've always been very confident in my game, but um, when you see yourself have a little bit of success, then it only grows from there. So I think that was it, just momentum. You know, not in a cocky way, but towards the end of my junior year, I just felt like I was the best player on the court, and
okay,
I didn't use that as cockiness, but I just used that as confidence to go out there and do that.
right.
But yeah, man, it was fun, and it was easy to do that when you had good teammates and good coaches around you.
And just for to let the people know, your junior year, 14 points, 11 rebounds. So you average a double double. Like that's really good. So going into your senior year, does that pressure creep in? You know that oh man, can I am I able to do this again or do this at a higher level? Like what going into that senior, what was like your mindset? Like did you feel that pressure or what was the thinking?
I mean, yeah, you definitely feel that a little bit, like oh man, you got all those accolades and some awards at the end of the junior year, but none of that mean, or in like the preseason of the senior year, but none of that means anything if
Mm,
you don't back it up. Um, so yeah, I mean, I tried not to like listen to all that stuff. I try to just play my game, and especially my senior year, like I was more of like I had a team mindset going into that. Like junior year, we didn't have a great season.
okay.
Finished below 500.
Okay.
Um, so I mean, kind of just going into my senior year was like, man, like I don't want to go out of here and be that year, that team that like couldn't get it done. So that was sort of more of my mindset. I got with some of the older guys, and we talked about it before the senior year. Was like, man, like we gotta win, and that was my mindset. Was before any of all the individual stuff, before backing up stats. Was, man, I got to help my team win.
Okay.
Uh, and we finished 20 and 12, and we're making a run there at the end of the year. Got light years better from as a team junior to senior year.
Okay.
So I think that was kind of my mindset. Was, man, we got to win before anything.
So during your junior year, like, was it a moment when you was playing, like, because I think you had 8 consecutive double doubles? Was it a moment when you was playing out there and you was just like, man, I'm becoming the person I thought I could be? Was that moment you could like remember like this was that moment? Like I remember when I was in school and going to school in Texas and we played Kentucky, and man I hit a three from the top of the key, and you couldn't tell me I didn't make it. Like my whole mindset was like, oh yeah, we here, and it was 20,000 people in the crowd. And it was just like, man, it felt like we just playing out in the park. You know what I'm saying? But it was that moment you feel like, oh okay, we here. What was that moment for you?
Yeah, we actually played Purdue
Mm,
my junior year, and they went on to like go to the. I think they went to the Final Four, the Elite Eight or something that year. But we played them early in the year, my junior season, and um, I had a good game, and actually made some big shots down the stretch.
Mm,
Like hit two pretty big threes to kind of seal the deal for us, and that was kind of my moment. Was like, man, I belong here, and I can do this at a high level. Um, yeah, I mean, once you see like the confidence grow,
mm.
it's
It's a scary thing.
you got to use that as momentum. It's a scary thing. Yeah, 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 for sure.
But people don't understand the consistency you had. I mean, to have eight consistent consecutive double doubles, like, what was your focus? Like, what was your mental going into the game? Was it a pre-game ritual you had? Was it something like you would tell yourself, like, because that's, bro, that's phenomenal. You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's just like consistency. Something that I learned was you can't get too down on yourself when things are going
Mm,
bad, and you can't get too high on yourself when things are going up.
right,
Because reality strikes quick, and
right.
when you're too high, and something doesn't happen that you don't want, it can go down. So you can't be too high on yourself. That's important as well. Like, yeah, you got to be confident in your game, but you got to understand like the last game means nothing when you're going into
Mm-hmm.
another game. Like you gotta flush it, good or bad, and get ready for the next. Like that was sort of my mindset was, um, like after a game, I would learn from it for a day or two, but then shut it down. Like
Mm,
that game's over with. I got to start focusing on the next game. So
that's that's
that was
real.
sort of my mindset.
That's real. I like that. I like that. So going into the senior year, going into the senior season, preseason first team voted preseason first team All ACC. You had some votes too to get Player of the Year for the ACC. So like I said, you felt the pressure, but it seems like you just was like, okay, it's time to get the ball back rolling. You got Player of the Week against Howard. You had like what was it, 21 points and 13 rebounds? Or no, maybe it was 28 points to 16 rebounds. I'm so sorry. Look, hey, look, the number's so crazy. I'm just all I gotta say is 20 and 10, 20 and 15. You like a mini Kevin Love right now, man. I'm like, all right, so yeah, so run that through me. You get the Player of the Week. How's that? How's those feelings? What's you feeling like? Like what's the mood? We hope you enjoyed the first part of this interview. We got so much content for the people, for you guys to elevate, for you guys to get better, for you guys to get to that contract season. Um, but first step, we need you to sign up, get an account with the company, get an account so you be part of the family. You know what I mean? A lot of perks. You get discounts on designs we got coming out, on giveaways. You know what I mean? You get the first dibs, you get a chance to come to certain events we have. It's just, you separate yourself, what I mean, in the elite mindset. You know what I mean? You go be around individuals that's trying to get to the same thing you're trying to get to. And whatever that is, that goal, that dream, you just want better. And that's what we all want here at contract season. So at the end of the day, um, we building and we want you to be a part of it. So create that account. You can watch part two of this interview. You can watch part two of all the other interviews and then exclusive content we have further down the road. So y'all be good, man. Hope everybody's well and get to your contract season.
You are now watching the contract season movement.